Hi, this is Russ McClellan, operating partner and designated broker of Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. Hey, thanks for tuning into our show each and every Saturday morning. I wanted to share the fact that we've been in business now about a year and a half. We have over 50 real estate agents, and there's a reason for that. Mainly, it's relationship and culture. You know, sometimes people definitely look at the money and the commissions and the splits, but at the end of the day, it's about relationships, trust, that familial connection that you have at Keller Williams. That's what we strive to do, and that's how we look at our clients. We now have offices in Brewster, Chelan, and Wenatchee. We have agents in Wenatchee and East Wenatchee and Cashmere and Leavenworth, Chelan, Brewster. Really having a good time. So if you're interested in learning about why is Keller Williams Realty growing as fast as we've grown and have as many agents that are focused on their clients as we do, give us a call at 509-888-0038 or just stop by and see us at 1111 North Mission Street right here in Wenatchee. Hi, this is Russ McClellan, operating partner of Keller Williams. I want to thank you for supporting my radio show as we enter our third year of broadcasting. We are going to continue to provide an emphasis this year on real estate education by inviting our affiliate partners to share their knowledge and expertise, as well as discuss current real estate trends and topics with all of us. I'm also excited to introduce our Keller Williams brokers individually so you can get to know them as I do. Sincerely, thank you for supporting Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Call us anytime at 509-888-0038 or stop by our office at 1111 North Mission Street.
You're listening to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. And here's Russ.
Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan and Friends. Thanks for tuning in on this Saturday morning in August. We're having fun. I'm with my man Seth Stevens, the Renaissance, one and only Renaissance Man at Keller Williams Realty, North Central Washington. How you doing, Seth?
Good. How are you, Russ?
Good. I also have JP in our new office studio. Yeah. Hey, JP. Well, he's our producer. He's been with me since the beginning of time for this radio show, which is about 2.5 years and counting. I think we've done about 67 shows or some crazy thing. Wild. And we're about to start launching into a new realm. We're going to do a little video podcasting, maybe a little more long form where we have conversations next month. So Seth, you're going to have to come on and maybe help me launch the video podcast.
I'd be happy to.
People are a little concerned because they say I have a face for radio, so we're not sure how the video is going to work. Might hurt us all. That's all right. You know, life's about risk, right? You know, no risk, no return. And my man, you just jumped into things, and I love the courage. You've made it through some adversity. Let's talk a little bit about KWCares. I know it's a sensitive topic. It's 90 days yesterday my dad died, or was it last month? He passed away April 24th. So I know how hard it was for you. Mm-hmm. Can you explain what KWCares did for you? And by the way, this is a program that's in the world. We are in about 55 countries with Keller Williams as a franchise system. By far the largest producing real estate company on the planet, voted the best technology, the best training on the planet, and about 170,000 or so agents that all contribute voluntarily on each transaction. Our office, some people do much more than this, but we ask a minimum of $10 per transaction. So you can imagine if 170,000 people are putting a little bit of money into a program that can help people when they need it most in the Keller Williams family, it makes a big difference. Can you explain firsthand testimonial what it did for you when your mom passed away?
Yeah, it was a gift, and it was something that I would have never expected I would have been able to do, when I was 19 years old and help out my family just from where I worked. But what KWCares did is after my mom passed away, Kelly and you and Taylor all got together and submitted the application for an emergency grant to help pay for funeral expenses for my mother. Any KW agent can get the funds so long as it's an immediate family member. They just have to fill out the application, and if it gets approved, then you can get up to $5,000, I believe, for funeral costs. And a few short days after my mom passed away, less than a week. It was like 4 or 5 days. It was the first day I remember actually I went back to school. So my mom passed away on a Wednesday. I was back in school on Monday. And I was sitting in my class and Kelly said, "Hey, I think everything's going to be good. Would you mind sending over your bank statements? Because they are asking questions because they're wondering why the money's going into a college student's checking account." Right. Sent over all of that, clarified it. And a few minutes later, there was $5,000 directly wired into my account, and it was the look on my dad's face to be able to help my family however I could and take off some of that burden in a time when, people shouldn't necessarily be thinking about money or what it's gonna cost to, honor your loved ones or anything like that. And it was extremely beneficial. I'm forever grateful to KW for doing that for me.
Yeah, well, it's an amazing company, and your resilience through that has been very powerful. The cool thing, it took us longer to figure out how the application, because it was the first one we did. Uh-huh. When I hit enter, I think actually Kelly might have hit enter. We submitted everything. That money was wired within 2 hours of them receiving the application.
Yeah.
I don't think in today's world of bureaucracy and red tape that's something that very many companies that are on a global scale can say they're good at.
No.
And that's the thing about Keller Williams, which, I've been in real estate a long time. I sold my Lake Shoreline Properties company to another firm, a franchise. So I had signed a non-compete, and for about 3 years in the recession, I worked somewhere else. And I thought, okay, well, this is my first experience with a franchise system. And I was like, okay, well, it's cool, it's fine. It's again, to me, it was, in my own personal experience, it was basically, if you had good people, you did well. If you had bad people, you didn't. It was the same as Lake Shoreline Properties, an independent.
Yeah.
When I got educated about Keller Williams, and KWCares is one example of thousands, but the education, the training, the communication, the way they work from the national level in Austin, Texas, where our headquarters is, to the region and the regional director, to me as an operating partner, to you as a broker with me, unbelievable amount of information that's streamed to us. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I want to teach other people, and that's my goal. And maybe you could attest to this, because I think sometimes people don't believe me. But I'll be straight up with you. I mean, you've been very open about your mom with me, and just now, it's not easy to talk about that stuff. My dad, when he passed away April 24th of 2020, he was not a very wealthy guy. He was not, he didn't have a lot of stuff, a lot of materialistic things. Mm-hmm. But with that being said, he was the richest man I knew. And the reason he was the richest man I knew is he was the most selfless individual that I had ever met. He's the kind of guy, Seth, if you were coming back from Bellingham in the middle of winter, you could call him and say, hey, I met your son, or I'm a friend of your son, or you don't even have to say that to him. You call him and he'd drive his Ford 1977 Ford pickup and help you change your tire. Mm-hmm. I mean, he wouldn't even ask you who you are, probably. That's the kind of guy he was. And so to me, my objective, my goal is to try and fill those impossible shoes of being selfless and being giving. And I like to think that 30 years of getting my butt handed to me, and I mean, I've been a pretty wealthy guy, and I've been broke more than once. So my goal is to hand down this experience in a way that, not that I know anything, because all mastery does, I say this quite often, the 10,000 hour rule, when like a black belt in karate, to master something, it takes at least 10,000 hours.
That's a lot of hours.
That's a lot of hours. I don't know how many hours I have, but it's like 32 years times 7 times 24. I mean, it seems like a lot, but all I know what mastery means to me is that I don't know very much.
Yeah.
So when you finally get to that point in life where you kind of lose your youthful exuberance and arrogance that I had anyway, as a cocky kid, you're not that way. I was that way. You're much more mature and much smarter than I was at 19. I kind of had to learn the hard way, the school of hard knocks, as they say. Well, I just want to share those lessons. Would you say that I do that? Would you say I'm available?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I remember the very first day that I actually met you, and it was me and Crystal, and we came into the office, and right next to us, and it was under construction, and there was nothing on the wall, the ceilings. The ceiling was empty. There was stuff all over the floors, no carpeting in, and just kind of we walked around, and you were going over the vision, and like, this is what's going to go here, this is what's going to go here, and it was instantly kind of this energy that I was like, I want to be a part of that. I was like, where do I sign? Like, what? I don't even need to think about it. Pull out the paperwork. I'll figure it out. And to this day, that's always continued. We sat there and we talked for an hour about real estate and all this stuff. I had no idea what I was doing. I hadn't even started the courses. I had just had a couple coffee meetings. And, to this day, I still text you and I ask you for advice, and I'm like, hey, where do I go from this? Or how do I get out of this situation? Or, how do I deal with squatters? Or, how do I help my clients in the best way that I possibly can here? Because I'm at a crossroads. And I think it's important, that you kind of touched on it, is that you really don't know anything. And, not you in general, not you specifically, but just in general, right? And you're continuously learning, and I feel like it's completely ignorant, and it's unfair for your clients, and it's unfair for yourself and whatnot, to just assume that, the best, and,
well, two
minds are better than one.
Yeah, I can guarantee it. We're almost always smarter as a collective group than we are as an individual.
For sure.
If you're open-minded and you're a listener. There's an old saying that says you can dominate a conversation when you're talking. You can control a conversation when you're asking questions. Mm-hmm. I'm not very good at that. I kind of talk a lot, but I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I'm always a work in progress.
I do a little bit of both.
Yeah. And, the one thing about this, it's not a top-down management company. The traditional offices have typically an owner, designated broker. It's kind of their ship, their show, my way or the highway. That's quite the opposite here. We are not a top-down management company. Mm-hmm. I am one of the group. In fact, I would go so far, and Keller Williams actually teaches this, that this company at Keller Williams is for brokers by brokers. Mm-hmm. We're a profit-sharing company at 49%. You know what that means? We bonus people on our profit. So people that help us make money, we give them up to 49% of that each month. What's the average profit sharing somewhere else?
Oh, I don't know, maybe zero.
Like zero. Yeah, it's a higher number or lower number.
Yeah.
The other thing to remember, like what you're great at, is demonstrating that you can have one of two things. You can have fear or you can have faith. Mm-hmm. And when you're sitting there at 18 years old and you don't know real estate business from the cosmetic business practically, because it's so crazy as an industry, yet all you knew is you liked the energy. Mm-hmm. And so what you did is you took action. And remember when I said goals without action are just dreams? Yeah. How many people do you know at 19 years old that have a lot of dreams? Mm-hmm. And you're taking action, my friend. You own your own real estate team. So I commend you. I learned from you equally, as I hope you learned from me and everybody in our management team, because we do this collectively. And we also have that board of directors called the Agent Leadership Council that kind of tells us what to do. Anyway, when we come back for our third segment, we're going to talk some more with Seth Stevens with the Stevens Home Group. The Renaissance Man is in studio.
Home sweet home. Thanks, Keller Williams. I love my dream home.